Good afternoon. Thank you for staying here on the Joy News channel, your most credible news source. Welcome to day 3 of our special coverage of the public inquiry into the EJURA killings. MCE for EJURA denies claims that 2 of the suspects arrested in connection with the killing of Kaka are his bodyguards. We'll bring you excerpts of his testimony from the Justice Crimson-led Committee of Inquiry into the EJURA incident. Bernice Abubedu-Lansa and my colleague Raymond Akwa are still here with me as we discuss the hearing and the testimonies that have been given before the committee for the past 2 days and this morning, and also bring you live video coverage from the sitting when the committee comes back. So while we wait for the live feed, Raymond, let's talk about the bit on training for municipal heads, so persons who are going to head municipal security councils. That came up because, according to one of the members of the committee, there appeared to be a bit of a lapse in the procedure or determination of what to do during emergencies or emergency situations.
It is absolutely right. And there is something that's emerging. Even the trained officers, you remember the regional commander, deputy regional commander, they state categorically that perhaps a major mistake they made was the underestimation of the security situation in EJURA. And skilled people are supposed to do a proper estimation. In fact, if you have read Ayasu West World reports, there was an indication of 1, intelligence collection, 2, structuring of the intelligence, coordination between the relevant agencies so that a proper response can be done. So when you get the intelligence, how to evaluate it properly, how to know whether this demands immediate response, calculated response, and response that is supposed to solve the problem, not aggravate the problem. All of that is supposed to be taught and engaged. So if we had, and I'm not saying that it's conclusive, if we had learned any major lessons from the Ayawasu West World Commission and its reports, I am convinced some of this would have been reduced. When you heard the regional, deputy regional commander stating categorically that what has happened is not what we envisaged should have happened. So our response was not as measured and as relevant as it was supposed to be. When he was being asked about the tools he sent on the grounds to try and quell, not an insurrection, but some form of protest from young people after a death incident. Then he came back to say that he agrees perfectly that if they did proper estimation, they would have responded properly. Now, generally, every person who is supposed to be in charge of security in a district or region should have, if from experience or from training on the job, some level of competence to manage it. At least one would have expected that, because he's working directly with security officers, because if it's at the regional level, if there's a command, the military command in the area, the person is part of your security team. The police head is also part of your security team.
Even the fire service head.
So you might not necessarily have the best of training, but they will give you advice that would inform the response you give at the immediate end. So the executive president of the republic might not be a security person, conscious security person, and might not have had training in the area. But because of the expertise he has available to him, if any situation crops up, he's able to manage it based on the advice he's given. My question here is, what relevant advice informed the minister's decision, informed the DCE's decision? Because as we go along, not only are there contradictions, there are also major loopholes in their operations, in their conduct, in their dismissal of what's supposed to be procedure, and in all of the things. That sounds like what looked like a very simple incident on the day is a result of massive failure at different levels, which, if we were prudent enough or probably minded by the security dictates that we have put together, would have solved it better.
Now let's bring you some excerpts of the Municipal Chief Executive for EJURA, Tomase Mohammed Salisu Bamba's testimony. Now, he denied claims that 2 of the suspects arrested in connection with the murder of social activist Ibrahim Mohammed, also known as Kaka, are his bodyguards. Ibrahim Isaka and Hussein Al-Hassan are currently in police custody for their alleged involvement in the death of Kaka. According to the MCE, some faceless individuals are using the death of Kaka for their parochial gains. Testifying before the Justice Crimson Committee of Inquiry into the EJURA incident, he said the late Kaka was a member of the NPP, but he insists he as MCE has no hand in his death.
Were the 2 people that were arrested, are they your bodyguards?
Not at all.
Is there any reason why anyone would say that they are your bodyguards? Do you socialize with them a lot? Do you eat with them? Do they come to the residence? Why would anyone impute that to you?
Anyone who knows EJURA very well and our environment, my house is a place that whenever any political head is coming to EJURA, or anytime that there is any national activity, the media who comes to EJURA can attest to that fact. My house is always full with a lot of people, really, really a lot of people. And the two gentlemen are our party members, and they are our polling station executive. And as the chief executive and parliamentary candidate, definitely I will have relation with all my party people on the ground.
Okay. Just a follow-up on that. I did say 2 questions, but this is a follow-up. The Kaka, the gentleman who had been injured on the 28th, 26th, who later passed on, is he a member of your party, as far as you know?
Yeah, he's a member of the MPP.
A card-wielding member, or just one that...
I wouldn't be able to say whether he has a party card or not, but he's a strong member who also come around whenever there is anything, just like the other 2 suspects that were. In short, when he passed on the 28th, it was the party vehicle that was dispatched to Konfanochi to go and bring his body to EJURA. He's our member and a very strong member, but I wouldn't be able to say whether he has a card or he doesn't have a card.
And is it his nature from where you sit? Is it his nature to criticize even you? Does he come to you with information or criticisms about things that are happening within the municipality?
Sincerely speaking, he's somebody who is very interesting, outspoken, and jovial. But I don't know about his activities until his demise. Actually, when he got injured, before I get to know things that he's doing in the community.
Okay. My Lord was asking you about your interventions on the day of the incident itself. And so I'll pick up from there. I understand that you have a social media platform for the youth in the community.
Yes.
Is this something that you set up or something somebody else set up?
No, I'm not the one who set it up.
But you are on that platform?
I'm on the platform.
And so a lot of the youth use social media in the community, and they're part of this platform. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of youth are active in social media.
Do you think if you had on that day written anything or left a voice note on that platform, you could have won the youth over or convinced them to not embark on the activities that they were embarking on?
Actually, I did left a note on the platform.
And what was the reaction?
When I saw the incident, the issue that I just mentioned, that somebody wrote that this can only happen under the leadership of the MCE, I responded by saying that we might have some disagreement among ourselves. We might criticize each other. But linking me to this barbaric act is unfortunate. And that I pray that God should expose whoever has hand in what has happened, and also entreat anybody who has information to assist the police. I wrote something on the platform. If my memory keeps, this is what I wrote.
Now, the MCE who was out of EJURA during the disturbances said he was asked to stay away during the security concerns after he had traveled the day before. He explained that his presence would have made matters worse.
I had the information in the night, as I told you, and in the morning I set off to come to EJURA. Actually, I got to Mampo when I had a call, as I mentioned earlier on, that I shouldn't come to EJURA for security reasons. That time I was actually at Mampo.
Did you find yourself in danger?
personally, no.
Then why didn't you continue? Because you see, if you are a father of the house and somebody tells you that your house is being attacked with your wife and children in the house, you decide not to go there because if you go, something might happen to you. That is the situation.
After the security advice, I mentioned in my testimony that I proceeded to EJURA.
That was after the incident.
That was after the 29th.
Yes. But the incident happened on the 29th.
Exactly.
Yes. And you were told not to enter EJURA.
Exactly.
For security reasons.
Exactly.
And that is why I'm asking you, if your house is being attacked with your wife and children in the house, for your personal security, you leave your wife and children in the house to be attacked. Is that what you are trying to say?
That is not what I'm trying to say, but the security on the ground, we are working together. So if they advise me and I didn't listen to the advice, when something happened, then they'll say we advise, and then he didn't heed to our advice.
So you thought about your personal security as against the entire community security?
No.
You know, if you were present at a EJURA meeting, things might have changed.
Actually, looking at how the whole environment was polarized, it could have been worse.
Can you let us know how your presence would have been worse than?
When the incident happened, and if you look at the information going around, as you clearly stated, I was the first person that they were trying to link the suspect to. That was number one. Number two, the police themselves, they instigated the youth against the police. Yesterday, I heard the police addressing some warning letter. If you look at the document that I presented, they were even linking the warning letter to me, that I instructed the police to issue a warning letter to the gentleman, which I actually know nothing about. So I think my presence, just the way they attacked the police and then the police retreated, my presence could have made the situation worse.
So we're still waiting for the committee to resume sitting and picking testimonies from more witnesses. But Ohiming Terria, my colleague from Kumasi, is monitoring the public hearing at the Prempeh Assembly Hall. He joins us on the line. Hello, Ohiming. What more came up during today's hearing?
Yes, Bernice, I must say the committee continued to quiz the municipal chief executive for EJURA, Seche Idumase, Mohammed Salisu Bamba, on his relationship with the two of the suspects, a pickup in connection with the killing of the late Ibrahim Mohammed, also known as Kaka Mecho. The two, Fuseni Alasa and then Ibrahim Isaka, especially Ibrahim Isaka, also known as Anyas, his conduct has come to the fore as far as the work of the committee is concerned. The committee quizzed the MCE on what an incident which happened last year involving Anyas, in which Anyas is said to have added the opening of some markets in EJURA, and he at a point also threatened some security operatives. And what he, the MCE, as chairman of Municipal Security Council, did about this incident, Mr. Salisu Bamba answered that the matter was actually came to his attention, and it was the members or the executives of the regional MPP office which stepped in to also investigate and then resolve the matter. And later, the committee also find out from Mr. Salisu Bamba whether he's received some training on crisis management, crowd management, and also on crisis management and then route control, of which he answered in the negative. And the committee also find out from him whether he's been interrogated by police as far as the clashes in EJURA is concerned, and he answered in the negative.
Right, Ohiming, so who else will be appearing before the committee today, and when do we expect hearing to resume?
Yes, I have been informed that the Ashanti Regional Security Coordinator and the Medical Superintendent for EJURA Government Hospital, Dr. Menye, are next in line to appear before the committee, Bernice.
Right, and do we know when we expect the committee to resume hearing?
Yes, the committee behind me, you can see members soon proceedings or kickstart here at Prempeh Assembly Hall.
Right, thank you, Ohim Interior, there, joining us live from Kumasi with updates. We see that the members of the committee have taken their seat. Hopefully, they will start hearing from the Ashanti Regional Coordinator, I beg your pardon, and the medical superintendent for the EJURA Government Hospital. While we wait for that, Raymond Akwa is still with me in studio. Raymond, so earlier we were talking about the bit on training for municipal chief executives and issues of what really their job entails and what the requirements should be. Your argument, if I may say, is that, well, they've got security men on the council who may prefer advice on decisions that need to be taken. And you give a very good example of the president. He's a commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, but he hasn't been trained as a military person. So that's the point you make there.